Hegel was the proponent of the theory of change. That's what dialectics is. Change is what they were concerned with, to change the government. See, it wasn't any abstract interest in change. It was that if you study change, you're bound to come to the conclusion that the real thing you're concerned with is to change the government. But Marx was more concerned with just a change in the government, see. He also was concerned as to what this philosophy meant altogether, see. For all these years, the general consensus among historians and philosophers was things are always more or less the same, see. One day only differs from another. On the calendar, things do not change. This dialectic approach heralded a new method of viewing history altogether. See? That you view from the viewpoint of constant, uninterrupted change. Now, if you do that, see, well, it is an advance, certainly. It's a great advance to know, especially if you've seen the French Revolution. You've even seen others, see, so that you're imbued with change, whereas if you take the older view, where everything is more or less static, ossified, like the pyramids, constant. So it's only in a revolutionary period that they finally developed dialectics. Now, what is it that Marx did with it that changed the world, see? He had synthesized it together with the materialist interpretation of history and made it into dialectical historical materialism. See? Instead of seeing only logic and only seeing shadows constantly changing and so on, he saw the real world. He had studied history. He had studied ancient Rome. He had studied even Asia, parts of Africa. He'd see they changed, and then there were classes and class struggles. And so he took the idealist philosophy of Hegel, together with whatever he learned in Feuerbach on materialism, and synthesized it into materialist interpretation of history. That's the greatest discovery that has ever been made in social science. See, up until that time, it had always been regarded that society was here because God made it so. He brought it on. But Marx was the first one, and the first correct one, to apply science to society. See? Applying science to chemistry or to physics or to mathematics, all this the bourgeoisie agreed to. But to say that you can have a scientific view of society, well, that was outlandish because it goes against religion. It's God created it all. Maybe not Jesus Christ, and maybe not Muhammad, but other gods all over. It's God everywhere. But Marx showed otherwise. See, they said that society could be analyzed the same way that you analyze other physical phenomena. And he applied it, and that's the materialist interpretation of history. Marx was the first one to apply a scientific criterion to the development of society.